Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mad Science Lab on the Fantasy Football Universe. We're going to do this one a little different. This is my team, the New Orleans Saints. Got me a Taysom Hill jersey on that I bought the first year he was in the league and have regretted ever since. Painful. We might do this a little different. I normally introduce myself as the host, but I think technically Jesse Moeller, find him at jmoeller05. I believe he is the host and I am the guest because I am the Saints fan, but you can find me at FF Mad Scientist all over social media. Oh, this one is going to be ugly. Let me take a deep breath.
Are you excited to dive into your favorite team? This is going to be a good time. Let me tell you what. How just give me a overall mindset of the Saints fan. Like, where are you at with this roster? You got a new OC. Is there any hope for the Saints this year?
Where did my step stool and rope go? Sorry. Yes. Hope. Hope. Yeah. There's a word. I'm not sure hope is the word. This is one of those years I think they got to do what the Cardinals did a couple years ago, where they just said, you know what? Fuck it. This isn't our year. Let's eat as much of this dead cap as we can in 1 year and start rebuilding. And a couple, they're still starting the rebuild, but I think New Orleans just needs to tank, eat all the dead money they have on the books and start fresh. We're going to start here with Derek Carr at quarterback. Finished as 18 last year. Somehow has still fallen below that. QB 25 he's going as. I have some shares of Carr as a QB3, QB2 if I really, really, really missed. Spencer Rattler, I have a few shares of on my taxi squad. I don't mind him. Jake Hayner, don't have any of him. Nathan Peterman, even less of him. This is an unimpressive quarterback room. Like I said, for me, I know I punted QB2 in a lot of leagues because I'm comfortable with the group of Stafford, Geno, Baker, insert, mid-range QB2 here, Kirk Cousins. You know what Derek Carr is? Derek Carr is when you get when you miss on that group and they fucking hit the run and you're going, fuck, now I'm stuck with Derek Carr. When you even miss on Daniel Jones and you're going, oh, no. I had one where was it Scott Fish? No, I didn't. Where I wanted Daniel Jones and I looked and I said, oh, shit, he has the same buy as my QB1. That means I got to take fucking Derek Carr. Stupid eyeliner. No, I can't fucking do this shit.
Derek Carr is an enigma in itself. I don't understand Derek Carr. Like, he has all the talent in the world to be a really good quarterback. He's just never put it all together. So yeah, I'm with you. No thing. Do you have any hope for Spencer Rattler, like being the potential replacement along to go for Carr years down the road, or are you kind of just like he's just gonna be a perennial backup?
I hope he never sees the field. Does that count? No, I'm just joking. I actually, like I said, I don't have it on me. I'm sure it would take too long to pull up. But in my my lab scores for my grading during the pre-draft process, he actually scored a lot higher than I thought. Obviously, he got killed here because he got no draft capital. Like I said, I do have some shares of him. I thought he was underrated. I thought he was really good in his freshman year, obviously. Then he lost his job. He sucked 2 years learning the system in South Carolina, but they had no offensive line in front of him. And then he was pretty good once they got better and he learned the system. I'm not sure Spencer Rattler's completely dead. I think there's some talent. I think at some point he's going to get a shot to start. I hope it's here. I hope they move on from Carr. Send him to I don't know what's left on his contract, but send it to some team send him back to the fucking Raiders. I don't care. And then just give Rattler a cheap tryout here. Let him play a year or two. Either you find out you have something or he sucks and you get the number 1 pick and you can draft someone better next year. But the point is to get rid of all these high money contracts here and get out from the Loomis cap years of, all the cap fuckery.
Yeah, so, I'm looking at the Carr contract right now. It's not pretty. Like, you would have to do a massive, like, Russell Wilson type eat on a year to get rid of him for the next few years. It's possible. Like, they could do it, but that would kick off the rebuild for sure.
There's always someone stupid enough. If you don't believe me, I have 2 words for you. Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
All right. Running backs. Yikes. Not much prettier. Alvin Kamara, 28 years old. One of my favorite players, but I just don't know what he has left. RB19 last year, going off the board as 17. I have some shots because I think he gets enough volume to be relevant. I'm not sure how many receptions he get, which was his usefulness. He had 3 years in a row with 81 catches, backed up by Kendre Miller, who I thought was good coming out of TCU. Injury issues. Jamal Williams, who got a deal off of his monster one season and then has apparently died a quick fat fantasy death. Oh, this saddens me to see James Robinson on this roster because James Robinson won me several fantasy leagues where I got him off of waivers and then had him on my dynasty squad for a couple of years. And then he just fell completely off the map. I've never heard of Jordan Mims, which is impressive because I'm a Saints fan, and Prentice is nothing. This one scares me. Like, I'd love to see James Robinson still have something left in him, but this is why I always say sell your day 3 and undrafted rookies after they do something, because I know Robinson had some usefulness with him in his second year, but good God, did it fall off the map from where he was RB3 to RB6 to RB New Orleans Saints. So I don't know. It's ugly for me. Well, what do you think of this lovely, talented backfield?
With Robinson, the efficiency and everything fell off a cliff. So I'm with you. Once he suffered that severe injury, he just never came back to being the player he was. I think the Kendre Miller discussion is really interesting around him because people still are hyping him up, even though Dennis Allen, everyone's favorite coach, was like, if you're not going to be healthy, you're not going to be here. So like he needs to figure out how to get healthy, get on the Christian Watson program, whatever it is. I just don't know how much work he's going to eat from Alvin Kamara. Like we know Kamara's going to get ugly volume. It's going to be good for fantasy. Like he'll be fine. He was the RB3 on points per game last year. Like, you know what you're getting. So it's interesting with Miller. Like, you can talk yourself into it, but, like, I guess he's the long-term replacement for Kamara, but who knows? They may just move on and draft a running back in 2025 with that class. So I think he's the biggest question mark I have with this running back room. You know what you're getting from Kamara. Jamal Williams can steal some touchdowns. Kendre Miller seems like the wild card to me. So he's interesting, but I'm just fading him as well, too, personally.
I love Kamara, but I wish they'd trade him and let Kendre Miller take a run at this, see what he has on a rookie deal. Like I said, though, as a Saints fan, I'm in full rebuild here. I want to shed all the big contracts, send Jamal Williams. I mean, I get it. He has a huge contract and no value after last year, but I just want to get rid of all these contracts. Wide receiver room, we've got one sec.
Oh, yeah, the wide receiver is interesting. And you can say, I got you.
Sorry, I can keep talking here. I'm good. It's not like there's a 9-year-old yelling at his VR in my background or anything. Chris Olave, wide receiver 25 last year. Oh, that doesn't matter because he's wide receiver 11 this year. So maybe the dynasty crowd has gotten a little hot and heavy here on Olave. Rashid Shaheed going as wide receiver 61, unless it's Scott Fishbowl, then he's going as wide receiver 4.
Goddamn right.
A.T. Perry going as wide receiver 90. Cedric Wilson, Bub Memes. I've heard a lot of hype about him, which is scary. Equiminius St. Brown, Mason Tipton, and who cares? What do you think here? This is quite an interesting room.
I think with Clint Kubiak coming in, it gives hope to these downfield threats, which both Olave and Shaheed are. Like they're both downfield guys who push downfield. This is what Clint Kubiak's going to do. They're going to do more play action, do more motion. And when you use the motion, that's really going to help someone else like Shaheed because he's one of the most elusive like wide receivers in the NFL. So like I think those two guys are good buy-ins at cost. I think Olave is a little more interesting because he's super expensive. But like the whole situation depends on Derek Carr. Can Derek Carr support them similar? We talked about Adams with the Raiders pod we did. Like can those quarterbacks support those guys? So I much prefer Shaheed at cost. But yeah, like I get it. Olave, he's like his metrics are similar to Garrett Wilson. Like he's that type of player. It's just can he hit the ceiling? I don't know. It's a fun discussion, I think, this year.
All righty. The tight end room. Jesus Christ. Juwan Johnson. Taysom Hill, who finished as tight end 7. Good Lord. No. Tight end 7, I bet you all of it was in 2 or 3 games. Yeah. Foster Moreau, Dallin Holker. There's a lot of tight ends here. Tommy Hudson, Jesper Horsted, Michael. Literally, like, I don't mind some late shares of Juwan Johnson or Foster Moreau in like the 22nd round. Dallin Holker, if you want to taxi squad him. Taysom Hill is the only one I'd really be drafting, and it's literally like a best ball where I'm going to have him on my roster for 18 weeks and just hope he wins me 2 weeks and is useless the rest. But I have no shares anywhere in any format of any of these tight ends.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like the whole Taysom Hill experience, you know, it's going to run hot for a few weeks. You got to ride that out when it hits. Outside of that, like Juwan Johnson's interesting, but he's getting older. He's like 28. He's not young, right? So he's going to be, sorry, he's 27. He's not
hurt
young.
right
like,
now too.
Yeah, that's the thing. So the discount is there if you want to like take a shot on a tight end being a back end tight end one because Juwan Johnson shows some of that skill set. But overall, yeah, Moreau's going to block. Hudson's going to block. And like Holker's the long term project, but they want these other tight ends to block so they can free up Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson. Is it going to work? This all comes down to Derek Carr, man. Derek Carr needs to figure it out. So I hate investing in these offense with these quarterbacks that are just not that good, and that's kind of Derek Carr. So it worries me for this whole tight end room. I don't know how anybody hits their ceiling. To tell you the truth.
All right. The fun part on this roster, we have to target and avoid someone. For me, I'm going to avoid Chris Olave because of his elevated cost, and I'm going to target my head with a shotgun if I have to watch this tape. Kamara, I guess he's cheap enough that he's worth the risk. But shotgun is door number one. I think I'm taking it. Who you targeting? Who you avoiding?
I'll give you my targets. I'm fine with Kamara on a contender. For Dynasty, I want Rashid Shaheed. He shows promise and could be something long term. The guys I'm fading, I'm not doing Derek Carr. There's just no upside with Derek Carr. I don't want to do that with quarterbacks. I want someone who can give me upside. It's just not there. So yeah, I'm just gonna fade him and the tight end room. I'm just gonna fade the tight ends. I just don't see the upside of those guys, unfortunately. So that's where I'm at with them.
All right. Well, we're gonna do some homer here, and this time we're gonna do this where I get to talk to myself because I'm gonna do the wins or loss because this is my shit sack of a team. Week 1, you can stop me if you'd like to disagree with anything. Week 1 versus Carolina, or they're at home to the Carolina Panthers. I am going to go with a loss here. I don't like either team, but the Saints suck. Week 2, we'll take a loss to the Cowboys at Dallas. That's not even close. Week 3, hosting the Eagles. We're going to have another loss. This is going to get ugly. I almost want to change my first pick because as I look down, I'm going, what was I doing here? You know what? We're going to change that first one to a win, and I'm going to split the difference. I'll give the Saints the first one at home, okay? So there we go. We're going to start this off as 1 and 2 because I'm going to fucking change my mind, but it's my show. I can do what I want. Week 4 at Atlanta. Nope, they're going to lose that one. Week 5 at the Chiefs. Spoiler alert, they're going to lose this one. Week 6, hosting the Bucks. You guessed it, a loss. Oh, I might have a number 1 seed in line here.
All right, so I see where this is going. You got to tell me when they fired Dennis Allen. Like, what point in the season do they fire Dennis Allen?
See, this is the breaking point for me here. Week 7, they're hosting Denver on what looks to be a primetime game. I think they win this game and save his job for a few more nights.
Okay.
Then we go into week 8 at the Chargers, where I think they lose and drop to 2-6. Then I said that we're going to split the difference with the Carolina Panthers, so they're going to lose at Carolina and go to 2-7. Week 10, hosting the Falcons, they lose once again to go to 2-8. Week 11, hosting the Browns, they are going to get boat race to go to 2-9. They go to the bye, 2-9. This is where Dennis Allen is fired. They come out in week 13 with a fresh new head coach, and they lose anyways to the Rams at home. Week 14 at New York. This one, the next 2 are interesting. Actually, 3 of the next 5 are interesting. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to talk these ones through with me. Week 6, I think they could be the better team than the Giants, but it's in New York and could be bad weather. What are your thoughts here? My initial instincts say win for the Saints.
Because at this point in the season, I expect the Giants to be struggling as well. So I'm expecting the Drew Lock experience to have taken over by this point. So it depends what they're going to do with Derek Carr, but I think they have a better roster than the Giants do right now.
I think they get a couple of wins here in a row because I'll give them a win against the Giants and a win against the Commanders here because I think they get that post-fired coach bump to get themselves to 4-10. Then week 16, they're going to get crushed by the Packers to go to 4-11. Week 17, hosting the Raiders. I think they'll win that one because it's at home, so I default to the Saints at home. And they finish it off week 18 in Tampa. They will lose. They will go to 5-12. Did I count that wrong? I must have counted wrong somewhere. Anyways,
that's right.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're a 5-win team. So I have them at 5-13. 5-12. I can count. I'll pretend I can count for a second. 5-12. That checks out. I think that's actually quite plausible. I think they're a pretty shitty team, and 5 wins might be generous. I don't know. I think it's plausible. They're not good.
I think that's the range. I think they could be like 5 to 8 in that range. I would be fine with that. Like that seems about right.
1, 2, 3. So here's the games where I could see going either way. There's Carolina 1, Denver 2, Chargers 3, Carolina 4, Giants, Commanders 5, 6, 7 to the Raiders. So there's what's that? 10 games where I don't think they have a single shot whatsoever, and it's an easy loss. And then there's 7 that I'll go as a coin flip. So
yeah, I think with the only ones I would push back against the division games against the Falcons and the Bucks, like I could see them winning 1 or 2 of those games potentially, just because it's division games. You know how those games go. But overall, yeah, I'm with you. Like I kind of have the same mindset.
They seem to have the Bucks number. I'm assuming the Falcons seem to have their number, and I'm assuming Cousins does enough. But I could see them as high as 7, 8 wins. I could see them as low as, if you told me they were the number 1 pick and won 3 games, I would not argue. If you told me they went into the final week of the season and missed the playoffs with an 8-9 record, I also wouldn't argue, because this division, like I said, the 6, like you said, the 6 division games, they could conceivably win all 6 or lose all 6. Well, they won't win all 6, but it's just there's a lot of the NFC. They'll lose Dallas, they'll lose Philly, they'll lose KC, they'll lose Green Bay. There's like I said, there's at least 7 games where they're just flat out going to lose. So I'll settle at 5 and 12. I think they're probably getting a top 10 pick according to our analysts, and I've got to run this after, but 5 and 12 is probably good for like the number 2 pick or something, because everybody's a bunch of homers. I am not. And that concludes the 2024 team preview series on the Mad Science Lab.
Victory.
Powered by the Fantasy Football Universe. Check back tomorrow. I don't know what we're starting, but we're getting into redraft season here. We'll be going live daily, so this will be the last recorded show. Tomorrow we are live and we are getting fired up. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Jesse, for half hosting with me here while I do my own team. We'll catch you next time.